Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so do you know what tools that are being used?
They're using Palantir.
Okay, and what else?
There's other software programs, but I can't think of one that comes to mind.
So it's called Project Cerebrus,
Project
and it's an
Cerebrus.
extension. Yeah, it's a wrapper for XAI, which is a wrapper for Grok, right?
He's a rapper for Grok.
Or let's say it's Grok is a sidecar for Project
Oh, I see
Cerebrus,
what you're saying.
right?
Do you have a link
So
on this, or should I just Google it?
yes, yeah, I'll give you the link.
Yeah, I mean, I used to work uh, at a major federal agency, and I was touring a building with the head of that agency, and he was pitching Palantir to all the lawyers, and so that means he has a direct relationship with Peter Thiel, and he's literally lobbying internally for Peter Thiel, and it turns out Peter Thiel won. So I can only imagine that Palantir is that they would put AI at the center of. I mean, isn't that the theory that all these major world governments are creating supercomputers and AI to essentially optimize and expand the power and influence and long term financial capabilities of the country? I mean, just in the same way that we would personally use an automated AI assistant to empower us.
Using AI as a financial arbitrage
Right.
to empower the propellant of the power of gaining power, right?
Right.
So like everything being chasing the GDP or whatever we're gonna say is the value assessment and the money revenue generating and the ability to buy more weapons so you can control, you know, your resource allocations.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but my my issue is that I don't think that the top down this structure should be in place. I think Doge should be a plugin, and a lot of us thought that Doge was a plugin, but the problem is that Doge itself makes the decisions as well as executes. It does the analysis, right? It does cost benefit analysis.
Mm-hmm.
Does the hopefully it simulates what happens. I doubt that though. I doubt that the regression models can pinpoint that accurately enough. But ultimately, it does a top-down decision-making process and decides itself what gets cut. And I think that is the problem with the system. In principle, Doge is a good idea to identify bottlenecks, right? And to potentially simulate what those bottleneck tunings will be. But then you need to test those one at a time, and you need to test those independently. That's my thing. The process methodology is flawed to a minor degree, and the decision making is flawed to a major degree.
Mm. Hmm. I mean, well, what's your financial economic theory in terms of fiat currency and inflation and expanding the money supply, um, you know, immorally or inappropriately for the long term?
So I'm gonna have to move to the audience. So I'm a babe in the woods with it all. So I'll be honest with you, I'm way more fluent and competent and expert on the tech side. So I'm just sort of ramping up my capabilities and knowledge in that area. So I defer to you for
I mean,
advice
you
on that.
understand how Congress and the Federal Reserve are involved in a conspiracy to essentially inflate the money supply. I mean, since the creation of the Federal Reserve.
So let me say the general understanding is that our national debt is generated because we spend more money than we're bringing in. Our trade deficits are because we are consuming everything and we're not making everything, and other countries are making everything.